Welcome everyone back to the Pommy and Oz channel. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Can't thank you enough for the support, especially last night. 550 people watching at one time. That is mental. That is mental. So thank you so much for that. We're going to have a recap of day one so we understand what the heck's gone on and really get a good understanding of how it went. So if you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. We can really smash this out with all of you watching. I can't thank you enough again. Become a member of the channel if you want. Link is in the description. Let's get into what happened last night. So let's jog your memories and bring back the sheet. We will be live again tonight, so that is worth checking out. And let's do it. So you'll see on the right of your screen is the POM change. So that helps us really understand it. But obviously, West Coast Eagles, they took their pick exactly where we thought they would do. Harley Reid, no doubt about it. The best player in the draft. Great pickup for them. He's going to be a franchise player. So they've really got that X Factor talent in early. I personally think Harley will stay there for a long time. I don't buy this nonsense. He's coming back to Vic. He's a well-rounded young man coming from the Bendigo Pioneers. You can see it's his dream to play AFL footy. So I feel like anyone who's saying he won't is doing him a real disservice, in my opinion. So great acquisition for him. Colby McKercher, he went there. A pick earlier, I really expected Gold Coast to have to bid here and match the bid. It's a shame that it doesn't happen, and I feel like that the league is lessened from the value that teams don't take the players in the right thing. Fair play, Colby McKercher. I'm happy. In my opinion, he is a good argument and a conversation for top one. To be honest, we've talked about that at length. I really enjoyed the Colby McKercher pick. Makes sense. He'll feel accredited. He's now going to be the staple there. They've got Mr. Consistency 101. Great little acquisition for him. Jed Walter, we know the Jets key forward. Another guy, another kid that really is in the conversation, in my opinion, to be number one. You know what I mean? Really in the conversation to be number one. And this is a real interesting little facet. Obviously, it's allowed Gold Coast to have picks later down the track where these players were, but this guy is a Jet, and it's another great in for Gold Coast Suns. Zane Dursma, one pick difference. I really did think that Mr. Dan Curtin is there. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I don't like Zane Dursma. I do, right? I really do like Zane Dursma. I am surprised. I do feel like when I look at their list, there's probably a great one. Good friend of the channel, Big Pat, Logical Pat. They were talking about maybe trading down. As it would have worked, they probably could have traded down here. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Melbourne would have taken Caleb Windsor, but there may have been a trade option here. Obviously, Adelaide, we know why they traded up. But I just feel like this was a position of depth. I feel like they could cope with the medium-sized type players. They've got Zerha and players like that. They have these type of players. That's not saying Zane Dursma isn't good, but I feel like, again, reiterating my point, the most important stat that everyone drums home is your transition football stat. When you've got Toby Pink, when you've got Bigoa, these are very good players, right? Callum Dawson, stuff like that. Dan Curtin is another ilk of that type of player. And I feel like if I was building a list for sustainability personally, Dan Curtin, is it too early? I don't think so. It's probably what? It's 2 picks less than we thought we'd go in the power rankings. But they have taken best available player here. So that's obviously their structure. We're going to come about North later, though, because people misinterpreted, I think. I hated this, right? But I loved what they did later. So great player for Zane. Hope he's the 300 gamer for them. I really do see that this could be the next boomer for them in that terms. And I hope he does go on to that. And I hope it's a great pick. The Wizard enters Hawthorn. Said this on Dazzy's thing. I was a big fan of the Wizard. Big fan of the Wizard. And the Wizard of Waverley. Do you know what I mean? He's in. this is a real exciting forward line. I feel like Hawthorn had the easiest pick in my terms, that they could really get exciting and creative, and they did. Nick Watson's a pure goal-kicking player who has got options, I think, later down the track to pinch hit in that midfield as well. An incredible footballer, and I'm really excited about seeing him. A little bit earlier, but I don't mind that, because I feel here Hawthorn have their system set up, in my opinion, and what they did last year. So I feel like you can start to get the icing and the little hundreds and thousands and the sprinkles on there. Really like Nicky Watson. He'll go well there. Pick 6, the dreaded pick 6, Riley Saunders, and Dogs stonewalled here. 1 pick difference from mine. This isn't the mock draft, remember, this is the power ranking, so how I like them. Riley Saunders, great pick from the Dogs. This was my bold call, saying he'll probably have the most silverware. And this is why I feel like he's a staple for the Doggies. Real safe pick, very balanced, can play inside and out. He's got a bit of jet speed on him. Really suits it, really suits. And it's going to be interesting what the Doggies do, because I feel like their midfield has been disjointed, even though they have the talent. So that's going to be a really good pickup for them. I'm really excited about seeing young Riley showcase his wares at a team that has a very stabilised midfield. Caleb Windsor, outside run, Melbourne. We talked about it. I like this pick. I feel like they've got a lot of grunt, and when it gets on the outside of Ed Langdon, it's not really worked. Feel like Caleb Windsor is that man. Lockie Hunter, we know, has really showcased what they can do. Feel like Caleb Windsor is that different layer, that real good one. And we see teams really deploy 2 types of methods on the wing, and I feel like this is the modern day one. Danny Curtin, 2 picks lower than what we thought. I love this pick. Adelaide nailed it. What a player to bring into that team. And they're a team that, when we talk about rebuilding lists, it's all right going forwards, but you've got to get the ball there. And we know the duress that forwards get when they play for poorer sides. You've got to make sure that that back to middle is sorted. And Dan Curtin suddenly comes into there, and boy, oh boy, Tom Doddy on steroids. What an absolute acquisition. Adelaide, this guy will play very early doors, and he'll showcase his wares in a team that is already cemented. Great pickup for them. Ethan Reid, I'm quite surprised about this. I thought people would piss Gold Coast off, but the fairness policy. Nate Caddy, Essendon, great pickup for them. Bang where we thought he was. Good little acquisition here for Essendon. Connor O'Sullivan can swing forward. More of a key defender. I really like this pick for Geelong. I feel like Geelong now, Sam de Koning and Connor O'Sullivan, a great pickup. And Phoenix Gothard, don't let it deceive you that I had him 20 places lower. I thought, with him being a slight mid-forward, there's a few players there that I have ahead of him. But I like this from GWS because GWS have talent acquisitioned. They have gone with what they like. They've got him involved. So it surprise me, no doubt, right? Surprise me, no doubt. But there has to be a reason for it. They must have seen that someone may take him. I do like him, though. I feel like he's got a high upside, and it doesn't surprise me because they take players that they like. GWS, when they draft, they take players that they've talent acquired, not what is the run of the mill. So GWS, good little pickup. Some nice little young players there we haven't seen. Darcy Jones and players like that. So it's going to be a real interesting thing there because they've got some really exciting talent there. And they've probably got the players that can protect them. Melbourne, Colton Thulstrop. And Melbourne, let's just talk about them. Do you know what I mean? Caleb Windsor and Colton Thulstrop. They've added the outside run. They've added a bit more of jets and a bit of creativity. Wonderful kid. 7 picks too early, just by where I liked him. We know I was a big Colton fan. Fantastic acquisition. Melbourne have done really well there. Jakey Rogers, as you can see, we pretty much nailed where Gold Coast players were. I'm glad someone put a bid on him. Jakey Rogers is my favourite of the 3 at Gold Coast. I'm excited about that. Crofty found the Dogs. Dogs will be very happy with this. 1 pick a bit earlier than I thought, but Riley Sanders and John Croft, great acquisitions. Loved this pick from Sydney. Will Green, really like this pick here. He's a real ruckman that fits the mould of the Bloods culture. Maybe, in my opinion, 10 picks too early in the draft order. I would have liked to see James Leakey come here, but I understand what they're looking for. and I think that's a great pick. GWS, they did really well here, James Leake. 5 picks down from where we thought. Tasmanian Tax, we call it on this show. We know that they suffer. Great little pickup for them. James Leake and Phoenix Gothard. They've obviously secured a need or a want, and then they've got a player that, in my opinion, has slid a little bit. And then St Kilda, Sauce, he loves a slider. He got Darcy Wilson. I really like this pickup. And this one, again, is what we're talking about. Mid-forwards we thought would be hard to judge. There's a lot of similar players. With Gothard, Fulstrup being taken, that was St Kilda's benefit. And I'm surprised he slid so far, Darcy Wilson. Great pickup. A lot better than that. In my opinion, I stand by it. He's a top 15 talent. They've got that. Will McCabe, 4 picks. Difference there. I like that, though. You've got to bid on it. And North Melbourne, Taylor Gord, we've talked about him at length on this show. The only ruckman with a massive point of difference for me with his speed. Great pickup by them. I like North's picks here. These North nailed it. Charlie Edwards goes to Adelaide, and Adelaide absolutely punched the crap out of this draft. Great drafting from them. Charlie Edwards, again, another player that has slid up a little bit from where he is, but a very good player. Real talent. And they've got a Rory Sloan replacement here. Boy, oh boy, he can play football. Colby and Charlie Edwards are 2 players I really like. But when you add that with Dan Curtin, right, do you know what I mean? Wow, what a draft for them. Will Dawson and Riley Hardiman love this from North, right? They got Hardiman, who I think is a slider. I feel like James Leake and Hardiman have really been robbed. And Will Dawson, what a player. They've lost out on Curtin. They've brought a more lockdown defender in who's got a little bit of pace as well about him, who can pinch it in the ruck. Great acquisition. Great acquisition. I like it. This turned me around. Well done, North. And Hardiman, I really like Hardiman. I think he's good exit pattern. I could see him playing on the wing later in his career. Caden McCleary, we didn't really think that these bids were going to come in, to be honest, which I think is interesting. I usually around this second round pick, I call it second round post 18, to be honest, because let's not sing and dance about it. When we're 29, that's not a first rounder. But Hardiman, I really like it. And Caden Cleary, I really like it. And usually they don't bid. So well done, Collingwood, for keeping Sydney honest. But Caden Cleary, a terrific footballer. And Sydney have done well there. Do you know what I mean? They've acquired a need in Will Green and as a want in Caden Cleary. Winners here for Collingwood. Harry Di Matteo sliding here. We knew the mid-forwards would start to slide with that base. Great pickup for them. Harry Di Matteo, he's going to suit that Collingwood culture there. He's a good kid, got a real good personality. Really happy for them. Will Graham, again, about where we thought. Very understated and not really talked about. Can play down the back as well. I'm a big fan. Adelaide making the surprise of the draft. Oscar Ryan, probably early, but when this is your last pick in the draft, you've probably got to do it. I would say that this was taken here because no one was offering futures. St Kilda managed to get a second for nothing. So I think Adelaide may have done that, but obviously it's a talent need. It's what they've scouted, and I'm never going to slate a club for doing that. Do you know what I mean? He's got that eye-catching old school little talent. Do you know what I mean? That hard at it, but then can break lines. The Bush Rangers boy, we know they build them tough out that way. Great little get for them, and I really like that little muscle that they've added there. I love Adelaide's draft. St Kilda again continuing to impress. Another slider. Lance Collard being at 28. He's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Is it a need is my question, because they've drafted 2 players that I feel like that they probably have on their list, but I can't argue it. Someone had to bid here. Someone had to buy, and fair play to them. And then my boy, Ashton Moyer, he joins the Blues, Glenelg player to Carlton. Really excited about this kid. Do you know what I mean? Definitely what we're lacking. Conduit player who can play big and play small. I'm a big fan of Ashton, and I am super stoked. 1 pick earlier. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy with that because I feel like that's a dub. We've got some really interesting picks to come. The Eagles are going to be a really interesting one for me of what they do. I'm looking forward to seeing this next set of 10. So from here to about here, I am really excited about what we're seeing. We are expecting to see players like Archer Reid come out. Mitch Edwards is still there. Oscar Murphy, if St Kilda can slide him, that'll be an exciting thing. I reckon we'll see Angus Hasty to Geelong in one of them two picks. We'll definitely see Logan Morris and Archer Reid leave at this point. Should be a really exciting point of the draft. Ari Schoenmaker will be on it. Do Brisbane go the tall here? Do they go Ari Schoenmaker and get that Daniel Rich replacement? A lot of questions to be asked here, and it's going to be really interesting. But it's going to be all stemmed from the Eagles. And I feel like Eagles have got a really good wide net here now to really make something exciting. I can't wait to do it tonight. Please tune in. Please like. Please subscribe. Please become a member of the channel. All that wonderful things. You guys and girls have honestly made November is historically a real tough month in my personal life. So thank you for bringing some joy and positivity. It means a lot. It's really touched me. So hope to see you tonight. We'll have a bit of fun. Try and entertain you a little bit. But until tonight, 6:35.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.